Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Mr. Burns action figure from the NECA, The Simpsons, The 25 Greatest Guest Stars series. Now this figure is kind of short-packed and not very easy to find, so I'm very happy I found it. As far as articulation goes on this figure, he's got 4 points of articulation. The 2 arm pieces, his head turns, and then underneath his outfit, he's got like a waist pivot point. As far as I can tell, the actual legs don't move from their leg positions, which is actually kind of good because the way they're positioned allows him to stand perfectly. And in the episode, he does walk kind of goofy with his feet inverted, so that is pretty accurate. Taking a closer look at his head, there are a few issues that detract from an otherwise good head sculpt. First thing I want to point out is that his tongue is sculpted inside his mouth, but it's not painted. I don't know if that was an accident or an actual choice by NECA, but either way I'm not too happy with it. The paint on his teeth is decent until you get to this side, and they kind of went off the teeth line a bit. Also, you can see that his eyes are very poorly painted in the middle. There's a lot of yellow exposed. The biggest problem with this figure, though, is that, you know, when they assemble the heads, put them together, at least when they're sculpting it in the mold, and there's this seam that goes across, and then that seam gets assembled. There's a massive gap here where you could see the 2 separate pieces and the space between them. It's not fully painted, it's not fully connected. That's a big bummer that you normally don't see on a lot of action figures, so that sucks. Other than that, though, I gotta say they did a good sculpt with his head. I mean, it certainly looks like Mr. Burns, but they did a good job capturing his big, doofy, like, I bring you peace, I bring you love. It really looks like him. I think they did a great job with his big, goofy eyeballs and his little, like, liver spots painted on the side of his head, the sculpt of his hair. The sculpt is good, so, you know, in that regard, cool, but even though there's some problems with the head, I don't really have much of a choice because this is literally the only one I've ever seen, ever, so I bought it. The actual sculpt of the rest of him with like the robe and all that is fine. I don't like that you could see this like little waist joint connector piece through the robe. This is meant to be glow in the dark, but I mean I feel like they could have gone with like a solid color choice or glow in the dark paint instead of going with like a kind of clear glow in the dark material where you would see the inner guts and workings of the toy. But again, even though I'm complaining, what can I do? I wanted it. I could have just not bought it, and it's so limited that since it's the only one I saw, I'm stuck with it. But I like the way they posed his feet. I like the kind of goofiness of his hands. Like if you've seen the episode and you've seen him coming out of the woods, then you know how weird and ghostly and like well posed this figure is, because it does look just like how he looks in the episode. Now let's go check out that glow-in-the-dark effect. Here he is glowing in the dark, and unlike some other glow-in-the-dark figures I've reviewed, this figure holds the glow for a while. Like it doesn't fade, like at all, like it's just holding its charge, which is awesome. Here's the figure under some dim lighting. And as you can see, it still retains a good greenish glow in this dimly lit room. And I like that. I think the glow effect on this looks really cool. And I like this figure. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's from a really awesome moment in The Simpsons that I really like, and I'm really glad they made this figure. Also, I'm a sucker for chase figures, and I like that this is pretty hard to find. So if you're out there hunting for this, I wish you the best of luck, because it's a pretty cool figure. Thanks for watching.